everybody, welcome back to my movie channel. My name is Tom, this is my friend James, and thank you very much for joining us for this, our review of The Incredibles, the first Incredibles. You know, we have Incredibles 2 coming in a couple of weeks, and we thought it would be fun to go back and review the first Incredibles, and the reason James is here is because he loves The Incredibles. I think this might be your favourite Pixar film, like, ever, or?
Top 5, maybe number 3.
Maybe number 3, okay. It's not in my top, like, it's not my, Coco's actually my favourite Pixar film of all time, but I love The Incredibles as well, so we thought it'd be fun to go back and review the first one before the second one comes out. So James, what did you think of The Incredibles?
Big portion of the reason I like The Incredibles is it's an incredibly fluidic movie. It features a family, as we all know, with superpowers adapting to change in the political ecosystem. They suddenly can no longer come out of hiding, they sort of have to hide themselves away, and the entire story focuses on, I suppose, the character drive that brings them to coming out in the open again. Much of the story centers around Mr. Incredible's longing to be recognized again, but it also transitions at about the midway point, I believe, to more of a family focus, wherein he's actually trying to protect his family. The villain's actually really well characterized. He's quite psychopathic in that he just does not care. And even the secondary villain in Mirage simply does not care for most of it. But she still has her standards. You can still see that there are limits. They will only go so far. And that is actually something I really enjoy, because I can empathize with those sort of characters. When you get pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed, but you're still able to pull back before it goes too far. I really do enjoy that type of film. And the characters develop really nicely. It's amazing when you can see each character's personality change over the course of the film, as well as, in Violet's case in particular, her abilities develop as her self-confidence grows. Most evidently seen in the ending, when she goes on a date.
Is Mirage a villain? Like, because she kind of redeems herself, right? Like,
she has redeeming qualities, but I would still call her a villain in the film.
But did she know the entire plan? Like, that's a question I've always had. Like, did she know what Syndrome's overall plan was?
Yes.
She did. She told Mr. Incredible.
Yeah, and she actually did make a point of outright betraying him as well. So her allegiance is definitely questionable. I really don't know where her allegiance sits, honestly.
Do you think we're going to see her in Incredibles 2?
Almost definitely.
You think so?
But I reckon she'll be more of a government affiliate.
Probably. Or in prison.
No, I don't reckon in prison.
In prison?
Because, yeah, you know, sending them back home to deal with this giant robotic monstrosity that nobody else can deal with ever is a pretty damn redeeming thing. Plus, it probably saved the government billions of dollars.
That's true.
I mean, let's be honest. Governments do like their moolah.
And speaking of making moolah and money, and I think one of the reasons this film was as successful as it was is because of the way the characters are written. I think you touched on this as well, James, in some of your points, that, you know, these characters are written almost like they're real people. Like, forget the fact that they're animated. You relate to these characters. What I really love is how deep of a movie this really is. Like, Mr. Incredible, Bob Parr, which I think is his actual, he's essentially going through a midlife crisis throughout the movie, you know? From, what was it? What's the slogan from something that's 50 pounds? You said it before.
15 years, 50 pounds later.
That's right. And I love that about this film. You know, I love the family dynamics between Elastigirl, you know, you need to be more flexible, the whole wedding thing at the beginning. Frozone has to be my favorite character in this entire movie. I love that whole scene with him and the police officer and the whole freeze joke. That's so good. Just the way the characters are written, the comedy, the action, everything about this movie. I just love this movie. I think it's a great movie. It's not in my, like, top 3 Pixar movies of all time, or even top 5. I think my top 4 is like Coco, Toy Story 1, 2, 3. There's 4 right there. And then maybe Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. is actually, it's Coco, Monsters Inc. and then the 3 Toy Stories in no particular order. But yeah, that's my thoughts on The Incredibles 2. It's a really fun, enjoyable, relatable, deep movie with so many great comedic moments, so many great action beats, and Frozone is love, Frozone is life. And I hope his wife tells him where his super suit is in Incredibles 2. So James, any final thoughts before we wrap up this review of this incredible review?
Final thoughts, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It was a great score, beautiful animation.
Oh, the score! We didn't talk about the score. I'm so glad you brought this up. Let's talk about the score together.
Probably one of the most iconic features of the film. I mean, how many of us don't know the iconic score?
Done by Michael Giacchino, who scores a lot of film. He's coming back to score the Incredibles 2 as well.
Did not know that. But again, I don't know many people who work in the industry. So
he scored Rogue One, which I didn't like. He scored Spider-Man Homecoming. He scored Star Trek. He scored Doctor Strange. He scored a lot of things, but his incredible score, I think, is probably his best work.
It is pretty damn iconic.
It's pretty good.
It's really difficult not to know it in this
But a lot of the Pixar scores are great. Like the Monsters Inc. stuff is fantastic. I know that wasn't him, I'm just saying.
Most of them are really good.
Yeah.
I think The Incredibles stands out as being iconic in particular.
It does.
Beyond that, beautiful anticipation, I suppose, in the build-up to Incredibles 2.
What is it, 14 years?
Maybe.
It's 2004, I think.
I remember when it was first announced, there were memes from Harry Potter memes.
I did my waiting.
12 years of it. So this will be exciting. It also looks as though the characters have developed in, was it 3 months?
Well, I think
4 months?
I think they're supposed to pick up right from the end with the Underminer.
But I did hear.
But then I think they're going to jump forward a bit.
Yeah, I did hear that there will be a fight with the Underminer, and then it jumps forward 3 months. And that's where the beginning takes place. But I'm not certain. It'll be interesting to see how it transitions, especially since, I mean, one of the things that does speak to me is it looks like Violet in particular may age a little more in the second one than the other characters.
Well, Jack doesn't seem to have aged at all.
I know.
Not even by 3 months. But you love Violet. What is it with you and Violet?
I don't know. I like Violet's abilities in particular, but also the one scene that I like from the Incredibles 2 trailers is when Mr. Incredible closes the door and he sees her all ruffled up and furious, and then how she tries blending her super suit.
I still love math is math, because it's such a again, the Incredibles 2 trailer, even that there's relatable things in that. Every parent, I mean, I can relate doing homework with my parents, and my parents going, this doesn't make any sense. What are they teaching you? Like, it's...
It is going to address so many familial issues that we all know and love. But, drawing back to the original...
That's what we're here for.
The Incredibles 2 is going to be a great film. I think Incredibles 1 is an amazing film. I think if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it.
Well, if you haven't seen it, we just kind of spoiled some of the shit for you, but there's... whatever.
Well, I mean, realistically, who hasn't seen the
It's been out for 14 years. If you haven't seen The Incredibles by now, you're not interested. Just accept it. So, that is our review. That will do it for this review of Incredibles 2. I wanted to thank you guys for joining us for this video. If you like this video, remember to subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment, leave a like. Tell us what your thoughts are on The Incredibles 2. I always keep forgetting to include you in that tell us, not just tell me. Because normally it's just me by myself because I have no friends. And we will see you guys next time.